Let's go. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. So, oh, Marin, I will read yours at the end. I won't, and Eric too. I won't say it on the call here, um, for the sake of the recording. Okay, leaders create their own momentum. Okay, write that down. Leaders create their own momentum. Leadership is execution. It's getting it done. It's getting it done, and it's not getting it done. Like, when I think about executing and getting it done, I'm not like, I have a vision of where I'm gonna be in 90 days, in 6 months, but I'm not, like, overwhelmed. "Man, I gotta do all this by then." No. I'm like, my get it done is, what am I getting done right now? Got this little notebook. How many of you guys have a notebook or have something that you write down for your non-negotiables? I write mine down every day. I know my handwriting is a little messy in here, but I write mine down every night, cross it off every day, and this is, if you will, my guiding light, right? As far as keeping me on track. What's next? Where are we going? So leadership is execution. It's getting it done. It's getting it done. And the first place to start is with your personal momentum. And how I view that, and how I've learned from my mentors, is that's what you do daily. Personal momentum starts with what you do every single day, what you do literally moment to moment to moment, not just in the things that I'm executing on from that list I showed you, but in the way that I'm responding, the way that I'm approaching whatever is, whatever life is throwing me in that moment. They said the other night, oh my gosh, it was so good. Success. Oh my gosh, this was so good. He said, success is, I'm going to obviously say this wrong. He said, oh my goodness, I should have this ready. I was not going to share this with you guys, but I just thought of it right now. So he said that success is doing whatever I can with whatever I have, wherever I'm at in this moment, and choosing to exemplify and glorify God where he's planted me. I'll drop that in the chat for you, because that was huge for me. Success, man. It's not the outcome, it's not the result. It's working with whatever I can, like whatever I can, with whatever I have, with wherever I'm at right now, where God's planted me, and still choosing to give glory back to him, still choosing to lead with his example, in his image, his patience, the fruit of his spirit, his goodness, his kindness. Even when I want to be frustrated and, knock somebody out, like, I'm still choosing to show up and respond with love. Okay. Obviously, easier said than done. Got to pray about it, right? So, first place to start is with your personal momentum. It's what you're doing every single day. And leadership is, we always think it's about, yes, it's about other people, but I'm going to, just for the sake of this call, leadership is really about how well you lead yourself. Because if you can't lead yourself, you can't even begin to lead other people. And that's why maybe we don't even feel like we can have conversations with people. We can go out and talk to people. We can be consistent with this, because we look at the way that we lead ourselves in our day-to-day life, and it's like, man, I can't even lead myself. How am I going to be able to lead other people? It's not about your results. It's not about, in this business or anything like that. I'm going to get to that in a second, but it's how well you can lead yourself in every season, every situation, or every hardship. And just be honest, drop a one in the chat. Who feels like, maybe they just don't have the energy when you get home from work? Or maybe your alarm goes off in the morning and you immediately hit snooze because you're just tired and you want to keep sleeping. Anybody? Okay, Marin, I appreciate you. Alex be snoozing. I'm like, get up, let's go. Um, okay, I appreciate the honesty. Probably 30, 40 days ago, that was absolutely me 100%. Snoozing my alarm, not getting up, sleeping until the last minute, 100%. Literally. I don't know what it was, guys, but coming back from, and this is just like, I don't know, my personal experience, but coming back from Tulum, I don't know what happened. All I gotta say is God is gracing me out of bed. Like, I got up at 5 in the morning today. Who does that? I haven't slept in. This isn't. I'm not trying to like brag or anything. I'm just giving I'm honestly just pointing it back to God because there's no way that I would be getting up like this every single day, not overthinking it, not sleeping there. Cause that was me literally 30 days ago, sleeping in, doing all that stuff. But I have been praying to God, help me, God, help me, help me. I need to get up. Like I've got work to do. You got work to do in me. And if I keep sleeping, it ain't gonna happen. Okay. So we keep doing this, right? We keep doing this. Doing more of the same only perpetuates more of the same. What I mean by that, we believe what we see. And because we always reinforce what we believe, we keep seeing things that make that belief about ourselves more and more real. So it's kind of like, think of like this spiral, like this circle that you're drawing, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, it's like this knot, and it like soon it's so big you can't even think about trying to untie this knot. It's like impossible. Nothing's impossible with God. We know that. So those beliefs are now what we think, it's now what we feel, like default, right? Default what we think, default what we feel, default what we do, habitual. It's like clockwork. We know what we're going to get, our results. And because that's our results, that's what we continue to see. And it's this vicious cycle we put ourselves in. And you need to break that. We need to break that. We can only break it if we're aware, number one, and we have faith that we actually can. And so some of you guys were at the Tony Robbins event that we went to the other day, the other week, and he talked about, what it takes to really see transformation. Heart transformation is what we're after, not just behavior modification, heart transformation, right? What does it take to really see a transformation? And they said there's four things to mastery when it comes to truly being able to transform yourself. And they said, if you guys remember, immersion was number one, repetition was number two, accountability was number three, and momentum was number four. And I'm going to break these down to give you guys a perspective because um, this is this isn't like the keys to changing everything. No, I'd say getting God's word. That's priority. Like I know I cannot do this by myself. That's why I keep pointing back to him. But I want to share this as perspective because there are things that we can do walking by faith. Faith without works is dead. We still have to take action. And the first way that they're talking about is immersion. Immerse yourself in the right environments. And I don't want this to be cliche. I don't want us to not write down these notes because we've heard this before. Everything I share, I try to share with the same vision, the same, purpose, but delivered and packaged in a different way because of perspective. Everything is about perspective. If I can just change my perspective a little bit, I'll see things in a different way, and it could actually create a change in my heart. So that's why that's also why we do repetition too. So immerse yourself in the right environments. Don't let this go over your head. If you're not immersing yourself in the right environments like we think we are, but are we really? Look at your every single day. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. When in each of those days did you immerse yourself in the right environment? Okay, let's normalize getting in environments every single day that stretch us beyond what maybe I would do, stretch me beyond what I would not do if I was by myself, if I was alone, right? I'm not getting accountability. I'm not being stretched. I'm not being challenged if I'm just by myself. I'm in a different place right now, even just 30 days ago, where I am calling myself out. I'm calling myself on my BS. And it's gotten me to walk even more boldly in conversations with other people because I'm not accepting my own BS. I'm not justifying my actions or inactions in my head, and I'm able to have these conversations with other people to help lead them outside of themselves because I'm leading myself. It's not we don't know what to say. It's are we just committing to our commitments? So some of these environments look like go live. Absolutely, we can get on go live every day when we should. Weekly Zoom calls. We've got 3, 4 Zoom call opportunities every single week. Get on there for half an hour. We're trying to keep the calls to about 30 minutes or less, just for the sake of respecting everybody's time. but it's a way to immerse yourself. It's a way to shock your belief system. It's a way to say no to your flesh when it wants to do the opposite, when it wants to just chill, when it says, I've already heard this before. I don't need to jump on and hear that again. No, that's the devil wants you to do that, right? Weekly Zoom calls, meetups, local meetups in your area. If you don't have them, you should start them. Okay. Events. We got an event coming up in April. Get your ticket. Haven't gotten it already, go get your ticket. Gotta be there. Gotta be there. Gotta be there. I'm telling you right now, I've got FOMO not being in Budapest. I want to go to the next one. Absolutely. I want to be there. But right now, our next opportunity is AZ. Okay. And biggest one, get to church. I remember when Crystal invited us to church for the very first time 2 years ago, and I was very hesitant of going. And we went, and I thought it was amazing. And then she was like, yeah, let's go every week. And I literally could not accept the fact that I was going to start going to church every week. I was like, that's my weekend. That's my Sunday. That's my whole day to do what I need to do. Like, who am I? Right. And here we are 2 years later, hitting church pretty much almost every single week. And obviously a great environment. Now we go twice a week. We're hitting up rally. So, all right, that's immersion. Got to immerse yourself. Second part, repetition. Okay. Repetition of the right things. We are what we repeatedly do. If you tracked what you did every single day for the last 30 days, what would you find out about yourself? What would be revealed? Would you be proud? Would you be happy? Would you be grateful for the decisions that you made? Would you feel frustrated? Would you feel like, damn, I spent way too much money on coffees. I spent way too much money on fill in the blank, right? Energy drinks. I don't know. What do you prioritize, right? What's actually important to you? You're going to find out those things. Look at your bank statement. You'll figure out what's important to you, right? Let's keep this simple. Break down your goal into a daily checklist. And the repetition part comes from the daily methods of operations. It's taking care of today. It's tomorrow doesn't matter. Tomorrow doesn't even exist if you don't even know how to take care of today. Take care of right now. So, and then I write this down. The big things are just the little things compounded over time. So the little things that we're overlooking, that we're underestimating, that are so subtle, right? Those are what actually compound into the big things that we're after. So that's number two, repetition. Repetition of the right things. Look at your daily checklist. Look at your non-negotiables. Are you hitting that every day? Third thing, accountability. Accountability is all about taking ownership. So look at the areas of your life. Look at your day to day, like literally moment by moment. Look at it. How accountable are you? Are you taking ownership? Not playing the victim, not blaming, not making excuses. And honestly, the worst one for me has always been justification. It's just justifying my actions or inactions, justifying the reason as to why I'm not going to show up or do something. It's the worst, man. Like it's literally like because after I justify why I'm not going to go work out or why I'm not going to go to church service or why I'm not going to go to this or whatever, like I always feel guilty. I'm always like, man, I should have gone. And then after I actually do go when I didn't want to go, like nobody regrets, going to the gym. Nobody regrets going to church. Okay. I always walk out of there feeling like, man, like a different person. Like I'm renewed. I'm reignited. Okay. So there's no accountability until you are accountable to yourself. So no matter how much accountability we may receive on calls like these or events or meetups or whatever, there is no accountability until you can hold yourself accountable to not justifying, not making excuses, not trying to be the victim. And some of these things may not apply to you, but be open to anything being applied to you because you never know what may sneak up on you in the future. Okay, you follow through, you keep your commitments. This is what accountability looks like. Keeping your commitments not just to yourself, but also to other people. Okay, or sorry, keeping your commitments to yourself, not just to other people. Because sometimes I think it's easier to keep commitments when other people are on the line, but when it comes to myself, waking up in the morning, you know what I mean? Like if I told somebody I'm gonna be at church on Sunday, right? I'm most likely gonna go because I told them I was gonna be there versus I told myself I'm gonna wake up in the morning, but because it's just me, I'm willing to like not follow through. I don't know why we do that, but we do that. Okay. So pray about this. Ask God for his strength, his courage, his perseverance. Ask for his grace and his help and be specific about it. Okay. And then the last one, momentum. All this is building into that momentum, that sweet, sweet momentum we all want to have. And momentum starts with yourself and it will bleed into others. Momentum starts with yourself and will bleed into others. So that momentum that you're stacking, that you're building, that you're taking care of, that you're executing on, that you're just getting it done, that not only is affecting you, we talked about this last week, but everything you do affects other people. So you may not see that your impact makes a big difference yet. And maybe that's because you haven't been doing as well of a job that you could or that you know you could be in leading yourself. So it's just baseline right now, you know? You're not like, your heart rate on the heart rate monitor when you're just kind of like sitting here and it's just like this, you don't really notice anything, right? Like any big changes. But when you start working out, you start moving and grooving and doing your thing, your heart rate's like increasing. And that's when you start to see, like, man, my impact is actually, moving. Like I've had people message me and saying, like, hey, because you're starting to get up and working out, people that have been watching me, I haven't worked out in years and I'm now getting to the gym. I'm now reading my Bible. I'm now doing XYZ. Your impact makes a difference, but you may not just be able to see that yet because we need to actually be leading ourselves on a day-to-day basis. So, the fastest way to create momentum in your life is stacking wins every day, doing what you said you were going to do, even when you don't feel like it, following your plan. You show up different. Like when you do these things, I promise you, you will show up differently. You will speak differently. You will think differently. You will act differently. You raise your standards. You don't tolerate what you used to let yourself get away with. I needed that one. You don't tolerate what you used to let yourself get away with. I don't let myself get away with snoozing anymore. I don't let myself get away with just binging a whole thing of fill in the blank. I don't let myself get away with things that I used to do because I've raised my I can't I know that when I listen to certain music, I know that when I have at least just one drink, I'm susceptible to it's not even like the drink itself, it's not the music itself, it's the conditioning of what the music and the drink and the whatever else may be does to me, like because of my previous programming, how that affects me and the mindset and the heart set that it puts me in, I am susceptible and vulnerable to a lot of temptations. And honestly, I've seen myself fall into that. And like even within the last 30 days, and I saw how quickly I could lose my momentum. I could fall off track when I do those things. And I'm okay with saying no to going out, to spending money, to fill like whatever it is, because I cannot afford to put myself in an environment or position myself around people. I love them, but I can't afford to do that because I don't want to jeopardize my momentum. And that's how we've got to become with our day-to-day momentum that we're building, that personal momentum, the wins that we're stacking. I can't afford to allow myself any opportunity, any vulnerability to fall off, to lose that. Christopher Derrick said the other day, he was like, I forget who the quote was from, but he said, every day that you stack your wins, okay, you're putting a drop in the bucket. It's another drop in the bucket. But when you lose a day, it's almost as if you're dumping out the whole bucket of water that you just spent the last however long filling up. And I took that to heart because that's how I feel right now. I can't, like, even on the weekend, it's Saturday. I totally could have slept in a little bit before this call. I had this call prepared, earlier this week, but I chose to get up because I can't afford. It's like it's starting to become like who I am, not just what I do. So, all right, I'm gonna share a couple things, and we're gonna wrap up this call. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't really prospected the traditional way very much, other than my birthdays that I do every day. And the people that I'm already friends with on Facebook and Instagram, and starting conversations with people that watch my stories and so on and so forth. But I will tell you, because I've raised the bar for myself and I don't tolerate You know, the BS that kept me comfortable and complacent before, I'm now having not even like more conversations, they're just very quality. Like I'm having conversations, don't get me wrong, but I'm having like the conversations are just different. And the reason why they're different is because I'm showing up boldly. Like I'm on a mission. And I honestly believe it's because of who I am, not trying to figure out what to say. I'm having these bold conversations with people. I'm asking people the tough questions. I'm not avoiding my messages. Come on, somebody. How many of us avoid our messages because we don't know what to say, or we think we don't know what to say. Okay, I'm not justifying my inaction anymore. And I'm going to tell you, it's not about what to say. It's not about what you need to say. I don't know what to say next. It's not about that. That's not it. That's not it. Okay? I need you to remove that from your thought process. It's not about what you're saying or what you need to say. That's not it. That's not what's stopping you from having conversations with people. Don't let that be your stumbling block. Absolutely not. It's about who you are. How you see yourself is determining whether or not you stay consistent. How you see yourself is determining whether you have those conversations or not, whether you avoid the conversations, the messages or not. Because and I'm giving this as an example, because I have been stacking wins after wins after wins every single day. I have this focus, I have this fire, I have this desire, I have this vision, this conviction, this enthusiasm that's attractive to people that don't have a vision for their life, that don't have a plan, that are broke, busted, and disgusted, that are looking to be led. And they're not looking to be led by the smartest person or the richest person or the most influential person. No, people follow people that know where they're going. So because I'm showing up, I'm leading myself, I'm stacking my wins, I'm doing what I said I'm going to do, I'm committing, I'm softening my heart, I'm getting in the word. Okay. I'm confessing, hey, God, I need help. These are my weaknesses. This is what I'm being tempted by. Like, this is where I need help. God's, I don't know, God's gracing. God's grace is on me. It's on your life as well. But I think we need to operate. I think we need to show up and operate a little differently because it's not about any of those things. People follow people that know where they're going. And because I'm showing up that way, I have a vision and I'm making it clear to people that I am on a mission in my day to day. The number one thing I keep hearing people in conversations say to me is, "I know your time is super valuable. I don't want to take too much of your time." And I honestly believe it's because of how I portray myself on my stories. I am on a mission. We got to go. We've got to go. We've got to go. People want to follow people that know where they're going. And I can tell you, if you start to lead yourself every day, you're going to show up different. You're going to speak different. You're going to talk different. You're going to walk different, the whole nine yards. Do you know these last couple questions? Do you know where you're going with this? Are you crystal clear in how you lead and show up for yourself every day? Are you confident that you're going to execute and follow through today and tomorrow? I'm not confident in trusting myself that I'm going to do these things. I'm confident in trusting that God is going to grace me through it and I'm going to have faith and walk by that faith every single day. I'm going to get up and say, God, I'm here. Let's go. Here's the next step because I know that all of this is just preparation for the thing that I'm believing God for in my life right now. I can't lead a team of 200 plus people if I'm not even leading myself. Okay. It's not that you haven't seen the results or the results that you want to see, that's stopping you. I promise you, it is how you see yourself. And if you need some help to see yourself differently, pick up this book. Pick up this book. You guys already know. I've read this a couple times. Some of y'all have read this as well. This Brainwash, probably like one of my favorite, if not my favorite books. I know I say this a lot, but that's probably like top three for sure. Compound Effect, that book, and then the Bible, that's like top three right there. Okay. It's how you see yourself. This can all change with two things: stacking daily wins, build that unshakable momentum, and evidence that you are the person that you say you are, that you desire to be. Not just because you want to be it, but because that's what you prioritize to be. Because anybody can say, oh, I want that. But what are we prioritizing? What are we making important every single day? So that's number one, stack daily wins. And number two, get in God's word. Make it your mission to get in his word. It's active, it's alive, it's sharper than any double-edged sword. It's moving, and the more you pursue it, the more he's going to reveal himself to you. Your faith will rise, you'll grow stronger. And if you adopt your identity in Christ, which that book Brainwash talks all about, his image and what his word says about you, who God is and his promises, it'll build you, it'll build your confidence, it'll build your faith, it'll build your vision, and you'll want, like, you will want. It's that whole saying of, you will, like, because I love you, I want to obey you because I love you. You will want to show up because of how, like, because of the impact that he's had on you, because of the impact that you're now making. Okay, this is the last question I'm going to ask you guys, and we'll kind of part ways here. I posted this in the chat. I know some of you guys texted me individually, and I get it. It's kind of it's a lot of a question, because it takes a lot of courage to self-evaluate. Takes a lot of courage to take inventory of yourself, and look at the parts of you that, hey, I need to fix. I need to work on. But I want you guys to reflect on this question. What are the beliefs that are producing inconsistency, low self-esteem, inaction, and justification in your life right now? This whole call you're going to maybe reflect on, and hopefully you do. And I hope, as a call to action, as a closing out to this call, that you only do one thing. You set your daily intentions, you set your daily non-negotiables, you have that checklist to monetize this business and this skill set and get in God's word. And then all you do is you just follow it. You set it up, you have your plan, and then you follow it. Go do that. Go do that this next week, and we'll see where we're at in a week from now. You're not going to probably see major results physically, but I promise you, things are going to start to turn internally for you. So that is the call, you guys. I'm going to stop recording because I have one last thing to share with you.